Hello. So I said I was gonna be more consistent this year. I'm really trying. I'm really feeling like all of my New Year's resolutions. I know the only one who can change that is me. I don't know, man. But if I can just be consistent, maybe. If I can be consistent with this, then maybe I can be consistent with other things in my life. So, I have tried to record a video. Like 3 different times, and I am just fumbling, and I rewatch them back and I'm like, none of this is good. Like, anyways, and also I didn't know it. I think I wasn't happy with them because I didn't and I still barely have any like really fun ideas for this, and every fun idea I have needs like a second person's commentary. So I was thinking about what I could do. Hold on, I need a pillow or something. Okay, I feel like that's better for me at least. Ooh. So I was thinking, and I was like, who do I love to watch? And I love to watch CJ's and podcasts, Cancel, Jeff FM, H3H3, Adam McIntyre. Like, I like to watch commentary, and I know that's not for everybody. I know podcasts are hit or miss for a lot of people, but I genuinely just enjoy stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, something I can do is go on Reddit. But also, here's another thing. Here's where I struggled as well, was that I only had my phone. So unless like I wanted to go back through and clip a bunch of segments together, I couldn't do any of that. Like, not the podcast stuff. I've tried to do podcasts before, and they are what they are. And I think the more you do something, sorry, I have hair flying everywhere, the better you are at it. But also, I just wasn't, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. Like, my podcasts have been mid, and I've never uploaded one. I've uploaded one where I just talk to the camera, because that's pretty much all I am able to do right now. But I've also uploaded like daily vlogs, but I can't really do that anymore with my job. So I'm like, okay, I need something different, but I feel like I'm like, I can't stay on topic. I was like, there's no way that I can do like the commentary videos because I have no other device to look stuff up on. And I don't have a printer and whatever. Anyways, I got a laptop for college because I'm going back in March. So I got a laptop. So now I can, what the heck? No. I'm sorry, hold on. It just logged into my boyfriend's Reddit. And I want to be on mine, because mine has all the good shit. How do I log out? I really am a grandma, not knowing how to freaking log out of this Reddit. I want to get off. Okay, maybe down. Thank you. Wow. Okay. We're gonna go mine. Yes. We're gonna go mine. Yay. Okay. So now that I have a laptop and I can read off of it, I wanted to read some, and I saw something like this on TikTok, and or was it, maybe it was YouTube, anyways, of people reading like Valentine's stories, or Am I the Asshole Valentine's edition, or something like that. And I was like, that sounds really fun. So I want to read horror Valentine's stories. And I know that Valentine's is over. And no hate against Valentine's stories or Valentine's Day, because I love V-Day. I love it. I think it's cute. And yeah. But I still think it would be very cool to read some okay. I have found a page. Sorry, I know I'm looking down a lot. Okay, I guess we're gonna read this. This is not a scary story, but it must be a horror story. Okay, this says, my horror story. We have a table that comes in every Thursday night after playing a co-ed volleyball game. My partner had them last week, said they ran her ass off and barely tipped 10%, and didn't understand why their tickets were so much. And then this is in parentheses. They ordered 7 alcoholic drinks and many extras, into parentheses. Funny thing is, they work for a booming attraction park in our town. One of them is the manager of one of 6 locations in town, and I used to work for him at his park. They came in tonight. I told my partner that had them last time she could take the table. She refused, so I said I would take them in hopes that they'd tip me since he remembered me. They all had special orders, wanted the bill split separate ways, no big deal. I took and put their orders in and got their appetizers out with their drinks. The order came out, everything was perfect. Came back to check on them. This burger is rare, showing me a medium to medium well-cooked burger. I proceeded to tell her our burgers are cooked to the specs. She wanted it well done. Again, no big deal. I told the cooks she wanted it well done. Came right out. She was happy with it. Everyone asked for extra sides of ranch and barbecue. I brought those out. They continued asking for extra sides the whole night. And one kid had literally 12 glasses of sweet tea. Damn, that kid's thirsty. Still, no big deal. They all had finished their meals and appetizers. Now they had a coupon for free dessert. Made it, comped it, split their tickets. Granted, mind you, it's a suggested gratitude. Their checks to make sure I made money for running my ass off for them all night. They loved their dessert and thanked me as they left. After finishing up taking care of my other guests, I'd come to clear the table. They marked off their grat and proceeded to leave me 6%. Fuck these people. Next Thursday, they're getting 6% service. The end. Wow. How are you gonna do that to your freaking servers, like your service workers? They, like, literally, waitresses and all them, they work their ass off, and they mainly rely on tips. I think they make like $3 an hour. 12 glasses of sweet tea. That's not to mind you, probably your little... I'm sorry. I won't go off. I was just saying, maybe also you went to the bathroom. Everybody goes to the bathroom. And the kid that had 12 glasses of sweet tea, is he shooting straight every time? Because that's like a whole nother mess you gotta clean up from people. Anyways. Okay. I would like... Hey, are you trying to get out, mister? Go. Okay. Looks like these are all about service. But I want to read something spooky. Okay, this says my Valentines stalker, and it is posted by slutty_little_cankles. Alright, so this is a story of mine from high school. When I was like 12, a new neighbor moved in with her 2 sons. To avoid using real names, I'll call them Peter and Paul. Peter was a little developmentally challenged and genuinely awkward, but I had a little crush on him and we hung out a lot. His brother, who was a year behind me, was quiet and sort of odd. He just had serial killer vibes, even at 11. Okay. So the years go by, Peter and I stopped hanging out because we got older and hung out with the same people and hung out with other people. You know the drill. Oh. You know what? Can I do this? Can I look at my screen? Okay, sorry. I'm still figuring this thing out. Because we hang out with other people. You know the drill. Paul sort of just lingered. We all went to the same high school about 15 minutes outside of the neighborhood. He would just be everywhere I was. I was at my locker. He was around the corner looking. I was eating lunch outside with my friends, and he was a table over looking. He was in the stairwell every time I changed classes. I swear he had my schedule memorized. I mean, it is high school though. I mean, the looking's weird, but it's kind of hard to... It's easy to find people in high school, and it's also hard to avoid people in high school. So let's see what else it says. So in my senior year, I finally got used to it. Dang, he kept this up for a while. Okay, yeah, that's fucking weird. He seemed harmless, and I was fine with just letting him be for a few more months. Plus, as every girl knows, rejecting guys can be dangerous. That is extremely true. Yeah, he's harmless now, but Paul was a big dude. He could have beat me to a pulp if he wanted. Just because he was a silent, creepy type didn't mean he couldn't go full Cujo. I resolved to let him be and let him stalk away. I think he noticed I stopped caring for some reason that made him ramp it up. Why are men like this? I started getting texts from an unknown number. It started with simple hellos, then it moved to photos of various body parts, an arm, a hand, a calf, and then a full-on pic of, well, you know. Ew. Then it moved to photos of my house at night. Why? Why? Oh my god, I would crawl the fuck out of my skin. I am not even kidding. Wow. Progressively, they got worse until I had a picture of myself sitting on my bed, shot from my bedroom window. I think that actually makes me tear up. I would freak the fuck out. I would get a gun. I would get a knife. I know you're only like 17 or 18 in the story, but what in the fuck? At this point, I wanted to call the police, but I felt so bad. His mom is a really nice lady. Fuck them kids, girl. And like I said, I used to have a thing for his brother. What kind of asshole am I if I reported him to the cops? You're not. You're not an asshole. You're not an asshole. In fact, you're probably doing yourself and other ladies a favor. And I'm not saying that he needs to go to jail and just suffer there, but if he can't be rehabilitated and, like, he's actually cuckoo, yeah, bye. He'd never get into college and never get a girlfriend. Girl, shouldn't he already have one? Shouldn't he be preoccupied with a girl, like, who actually wants him and knows that, like, I don't care if maybe there's a girl out there that likes being, you know, stalked like a kinky way, and he could just find someone like that and be really happy. Not that he should, honestly, I agree. And a bunch of other stuff you probably can't get if you've been convicted of stalking and sending inappropriate pics, so I kept letting it slide. Huge mistake. There's more. Oh, I just saw one. Oh, I just saw one of the fucking, like, it's just like a 2-word sentence, and it's been paragraphed out from both of the sentences on top and below it, and it just says he smiled. Okay. It was a Sunday morning, so no school, and I slept in late. My mom was at church, and my dad got dragged along with her, so I had the house to myself. The doorbell rang, and I got up, pissed off as one would be when the doorbell wakes them up at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, and there's an envelope on my doorstep. Obviously, the mailman isn't coming on Sunday, and he's not dropping letters on my front porch with no address or stamp either. I felt super uncomfortable, and I felt like I was being watched. I grabbed the envelope, shut the door, and locked it. Then I went around and checked and locked all other doors and windows. Inside was a rambling manifesto-style love letter in full-on serial killer handwriting with a chunk of his hair inside. It still had the roots. He seriously ripped out a chunk to send to me. Oh my fucking what? I'm sorry. This video probably won't get monetized. Not that it was anyways, but at this point, I was losing my shit. This creepy turned up to 11. I went over to his house and explained the situation to his mom, who of course was horrified and apologized. I felt bad snitching, but at this point, it was unhealthy for him and really scary for me. I went back home and felt a lot better having just womaned up and dealt with it. Sometimes it's hard to be a person and speak. So then Valentine's Day rolls around, and this is when shit hit the fan. I woke up around 2 a.m. on February 14th. I usually sleep through the night really well, but somebody was touching me. It was Paul. Oh, what in the actual... Okay. Standing over me with a pair of scissors. What the fuck? Cutting my hair! I froze in fear for a solid 30 seconds before we made eye contact. I didn't even scream. I was just petrified, and what does he do? He smiled. Just imagine you're asleep and you just feel someone touching you, and you wake up and you realize someone's grabbing your hair and like, ooh, and then you're like, ooh, and then he like looks down and he's like, no. Okay, not like a regular smile. I swear to God, his entire face stretched. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like Smile, like the movie Smile. He snipped off the chunk of hair he was holding and just walked out of my room into the hallway. At that point, I started screaming at the top of my lungs for my dad. He ran and obviously freaked out, went for his gun, and my mom ran in to see what happened. The police went to talk to him the next day, and he ended up being let off with a warning, which is pretty bull if you ask me. I agree, girl. He literally broke into my house and cut my hair while I slept. What's even worse is I got the feeling he's been in my room when I didn't know before. I've been finding Snickers wrappers in the back of my closets for months. I hate Snickers. I just figured it was one of my friends being a slob. His family moved a few weeks later. His poor mom was so embarrassed she couldn't even talk to my family. I feel bad for her. It wasn't her fault. I think he was just wired a little wrong. But yeah, that's the story of my Valentine's stalker. Remember to lock your doors and windows tonight. That one was really intense. Okay, let me go back because I've only been recording for 20 minutes. And I think I can fit in one more if I try. If I try really hard. This one says, I gave my heart to my Valentine. I don't know if this is going to be creepy or not, but we're going to read it. At our office, there was this beautiful brunette called Julia with whom I fell in love at first sight. She had been working there for years when I started, and I quickly realized she was every guy's favorite. I almost gave up on her until she announced she had to return to Australia due to her parents' health. I was devastated. I knew it didn't make sense for a guy like me to love such a beauty, but the abruptness of it gave me a change of heart. I felt compelled to reveal my true feelings. That's sweet. Even if it was the last thing I'd ever say to her. I just wanted to get it off my chest, and what better way to write a letter explaining how I've been besotted with her the moment our eyes met. This guy's got an English degree. You know he passed that high school English. Last Friday, I finally worked the courage to tell her. I knew she'd stayed later than most of our coworkers, and since she'd be gone soon, I was certain she'd stay even later to settle all her work, so I waited and waited. Huh? You can't just slip it in our desk or something? You're gonna wait for her? Maybe that was a mistake. Anyways, it was really strange to see how many work till 8, 9, even 10 p.m. I'd usually be out by 6 or 7 tops. No wonder my boss hates me. We all have a key card to unlock the door and clock in and out. As long as you're there 9 hours a day, nobody bats an eye, or so I was told. Needless to say, everyone was surprised to see me typing away that late at night. It was almost 11 when my last coworker left. I was alone with Julia, which is when I realized I was an idiot, a stupid moron who didn't think straight. The moment I stood up to give her the letter, I realized I could have simply talked to her instead of being a socially inept imbecile, handing over an envelope like an awkward teen. I fumbled at that moment. Julia swung her bag over her shoulder and stood up. She had to walk by my desk to leave. When she did, she froze. Of course, she saw me gawking like a goofball. Hi, I said. Oh, Caleb, was it? I didn't know you worked here that late, she said. I was happy she remembered my name, but somehow disappointed that she'd hesitated because, to me, it meant she barely took notice of me. Me neither. I mean, today I wanted to give you this. She jolted when I lurched my hand with the envelope at her. Sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I'd like you to read this if you want. Well, okay. How long is this? Oh, it's not that long. Okay, I was like, dang. Okay. Then she said, oh, wait. She just hesitantly pinched the letter with 2 fingers as if it was contaminated and said, sure, then stood there. When I kept staring at her, she asked, should I open it now? I simply nodded. I wanted to tell her that it was up to her, but part of me wanted to be rejected on the spot. I couldn't bear coming in Monday and getting embarrassed in front of everyone, or worse, being completely ignored. It would have broken me. Homie. She pulled the letter out from the envelope. It took her a long time to read. She swiftly peered several times from over the pink letter while doing so. Or maybe she was just pretending to read and contemplate how to formulate an appropriate response. Finally, she lowered her arm. She said, that's very sweet of you, Caleb, but I have to think about it. My heart sank. I knew it was over. It's fine, you know. I just thought I wouldn't. But it's fine. It's just how it is, isn't it? I don't mind. Just wanted you to know, and maybe if you know. My words didn't make sense. I was rambling on, even though I had replayed this scenario over and over again in my mind, going as far as speaking with my reflection in the mirror. But experiencing a face-to-face rejection was completely different. No, I didn't mean it like that. I really have to think about it. She said, tell you what, I've got your number. She waved my letter with my phone. Oh, with my phone number and email scribbled at the bottom. It made me wince. I'll send you a message this weekend, okay? I'm just too tired to think straight right now, and I'm really hungry. Oh, sure, thanks. She forced... Phoenix. Now another cat wants to come in. Come on. Come on. You better hurry up. Dork. Fiend, I need you to get down, Mama. I know, honey. Okay. She forced a smile and left. I don't know how long I lingered there, but the next thing I knew, I was sitting on my bed. Everything that happened in between was a blur. My mind was vainly contemplating whether she had rejected me or whether she was serious about contacting me, or if she'd been creeped out and pleaded to go past me. Was I really that creepy? Maybe. Saturday started as it ended. No message from Julia. I almost forgot to eat, spending the entire day fixated on my phone. In the morning, I wondered whether she'd already woken up. At noon, I thought she might just be busy packing her stuff and calling her parents in Australia. What's the time difference anyway? I thought. but I didn't look it up. I just wanted to ruminate absentmindedly on my fate for the rest of the day. I'd given up hope when it was nearly midnight on Sunday. There was no way I could show my face to the office on Monday. While I was practicing my sick voice, my phone vibrated, a message from an unknown number. She really meant taking her time, huh? Thanks for your letter. I appreciate your feelings, I really do, but I have to go back to OZ soon, so if you're fine with that, we could maybe go eat somewhere on Tuesday. Tell me what you think. On Valentine's Day, I blurted out an immediate reply, "Where do you want to go?" and read her sentence at least 5 times until I got a message back. Novra's old pub, 11 p.m., far from prying eyes of our colleagues. I immediately accepted, and she sent me another message. By the way, Friday was my last day at work because I have to use my accumulated vacation days, so don't worry when you don't see me on Monday. That took me aback. At first, I thought she invited me to a pub because, well, she wanted to set the record straight in person. But if she doesn't return to the office, then there's really no need to do that. I was over the moon. Despite my overexcitement, I slept like a baby. I was a little disappointed on Monday morning when I realized that Tuesday was not Valentine's Day, but the 13th. That didn't reduce my anxiety, so I tried to repress my emotions at work. Julia was adamant not to let our coworkers know, and I certainly would keep it to myself. Besides, all the other guys were now out of the competition. Tuesday came, and I entered the pub half an hour in advance and waited for Julia in my best clothes. I even sprayed myself with perfume for the occasion and bought a box of expensive chocolate because I knew she had a sweet tooth. Flowers were my first choice, but it was a lot more noticeable, and I didn't want to risk embarrassing her in public. 11 came and went. By midnight, a few glasses of juice had entered and left my body several times. I didn't dare drink alcohol in case I'd get drunk. At that point, I wanted to send her a message, but was afraid she'd ghost me if I was too tenacious. But what if she already ghosted me, I thought. I can't remember how many times I read our text exchange. All I know is that I was certain that she wouldn't do such a thing. Julia has always been nice to everyone in the office. She wasn't the malicious type. It was nearly 1 a.m. when I got a message from her. "You're so strong," because I would have been home and in bed. Because I'm a grandma. The message read, "I'm so sorry. I was so tired and took a nap. I ended up sleeping from 6 till now, and I'm getting ready. Want to meet at a hotel near my place? No worries. Sure, where?" She gave me the address, and I rushed there. It was about 20 minutes from where I was. 10 if I ran. I could have taken a cab. But I already spent money in the pub for nothing. My adrenaline was also pumping after all that sitting and waiting. And I also realized that it was Valentine's Day since it was past midnight. I arrived at the hotel and went straight to the restaurant. Julia was nowhere to be seen. Maybe all that exercise gave me some newfound courage because I could immediately texted her, "Can't find you at the restaurant." That's when she simply messaged me, "Room 1508. My brain shut down. There was no way this was real. I closed and reopened the text app. I checked all our previous messages to make sure it was Julia. Even double-checked the phone number. My legs dragged me to the elevator where I pressed number 15. I stepped out and looked right. There was a sign, 1527 to 1522. So I went left to 1501 through 1526. Listen, I know you know her, and I know that I'm pretty sure you're a guy. But I do not think you should be going to someone's hotel room on the first date, not even knowing who they are. I digress. The hotel was fancy, very. Below my feet was a red carpet embroidered with a school of black and gold fish going in the opposite direction, as if to warn me that I was going against the flow. There was no way I was wrong. Everything checked out. I arrived in 1508 and stood there for an awfully long time. I breathed in, waited, slowly breathed out, trying to keep my cool. My heart pounded so hard that my hand trembled as I rapped on the door. Footsteps within. They abruptly stopped. 1, 2 distinct clinks, and the door opened to reveal Julia. Sorry. Julia, radiant like the morning sunshine. Before I could utter a word, she welcomed me inside with a broad smile. I thought I couldn't be more surprised when I entered not a simple hotel room, but the living room of a suite with the door on both sides. This led me to half hope, half expect that Julia would be undressed when I spun around, but that wasn't the case. "I've prepared some drinks," she said, showing me to a round table where she with two comfortable velvet wing chairs. I sat in the right one while she settled into the one on the left. She poured some champagne in a crystal glass. "Oh yeah, here's a small gift," I said, giving her the chocolate. At that point, I was almost ashamed. It wasn't jewelry. It sounds weird, but being placed within a luxurious environment made me feel rather small and insignificant. She opened the box and beamed. "Oh, thank you so much. Those are my favorite." "Really? I didn't know." "Baloney, you knew." She held her champagne glass up and said to us. I did the same and drank it entirely. When I realized mine was empty and hers was nearly full, I blushed a bit. She also noticed and chuckled. "So why this room?" I asked. "I mean, it's grandiose. Glad you like it." She really didn't give me an answer, so instead I said, "So, about the letter." Story's long. You gotta give me a second. "Do I really have to answer that?" she asked, opening her arms. "Have you seen the place we're in?" I didn't know how to answer, so she refilled my cup with some champagne, and this time I drank more conservatively. "So when will you leave again?" "Next week," she said, looking out the window. I hadn't noticed at this point, but the view was amazing. The dark contour of buildings with lights scattered across the windows, the car's red and white lights slowly cruising across the roads. I almost forgot where I was. Our eyes met, and I started to feel lightheaded. Oh, no. She stood up and frowned. "Are you feeling all right?" "Yeah, it might have been the champagne on an empty stomach," I said. My head began to turn. "I think you need to lay down for a bit," she said, and grabbed my arm. She smelled so good. I tried to keep my eyes open, but I felt so sick. I closed them, trying to follow her lead. After the sound of a door opening and closing, I was put on a surface that felt harder than a mattress. There was a metallic smell in the air, as well as something antiseptic. My head lolled to the side. It took me a lot of effort to pry them open. Oh my gosh! Next to me was some sort of table with someone being operated on. That someone looked familiar. Then I remembered it was Robert, one of my coworkers. I felt my body being restrained and head realigned upwards. Julia stood next to a surgeon. I tried to open my mouth, but no words came out. I don't even think my mouth was open in the first place, but I could hear them speak. "The next guy will arrive in an hour. Make it quick," said Julia, and the surgeon nodded. I felt a sharp object piercing my body. It hurt so much until it didn't. It all turned black. I woke up in a dank place. All was dark except for a small bright line where someone up to my left. All was dark except for a small bright light somewhere up to my left. I quickly realized where I was, but it took effort to open the lid of the dumpster. My body was so damaged I wasn't able to get out, so I called for help. It felt like hours when someone finally came to my rescue. And this morning I woke up in the hospital with tubes and wires attached to me. Soon after, 2 doctors told me they found numerous scars on my body. They said I'm missing my left lung, my right kidney, and as well a part of my liver, pancreas, and intestine. It's a miracle I survived. I'll need months to recover for a start. I tried to call the office, but nobody answered. This whole thing feels like a surreal dream. I don't know what to do or what will happen next. I've barely spoken to the doctors because I'm so confused and afraid, and I refuse to believe Julia is behind all this. Was she coerced? If so, why? I can't think of anything. She seems so nice and perfect. The drugs they're pumping into my veins make me drowsy. Now all I yearn for is to close my eyes, hoping to awake from this nightmare. Oh my gosh. Who is this? This was written by Caleb Van Ponesen. Wow. Holy crap. Okay. Well, there you have it. I don't know why I'm red. I probably scratched. Anyways, it is 3:16 and I have stuff I have to do still, so I'm gonna get off here, but I hope y'all have a great day, and I hope y'all enjoyed those stories, and sorry they were long, and I am not the greatest narrator, but it's fine. Anyways, all right, bye guys.